Hey there, smart home enthusiasts. Welcome back to the official YoLink support channel. On today's video, we'll be taking a look at two fantastic sensors from YoLink: the temperature and humidity sensor and the weatherproof temperature and humidity sensor. Now, if you're thinking about investing in a smart environmental sensor for your home, this video will help you decide which one is right for your task. Now, while these sensors can do mostly the same thing, they do have different uses. To make things easier from this point forward, I'll refer to the temperature and humidity sensor as the standard sensor and the weatherproof temperature and humidity sensor as the weatherproof one. Now, we also have a variant of the weatherproof sensor available that's identical to the original one, except for this one has an external probe. This is great for sensing temperatures on things like pipes or in locations where the full-size sensor would not fit. So let's go ahead and look at what comes in each box. Now, starting with the standard temperature sensor. Now, when we open up the box, we'll see that we have the sensor itself and a quick start guide. If we look at the front of the sensor, we'll see the screen that will show us the current temperature and humidity of the device. If we flip it over on the back, we'll see the screw mounting point. Then below that is the battery door with the two pre-installed AAA batteries and the set button. You will also notice the 4 feet that allow the sensor to sit flat on a desk or surface, but still get airflow to the sensors through the holes on the back and the sides. There are also 2 small feet on the bottom that let the unit sit upright. You will notice a sticker indicating that the set button can also be used to activate and change the temperature units. More on that in a bit. Now, if we move to the outdoor unit, we'll see that we also get the sensor and a quick start guide in the box. This sensor is equipped with a small lanyard that can be used to secure the sensor to a wall or other object. The outdoor sensor also has feet on the back to allow it to be set flat on a surface. These feet also hide the 4 screws that you'll need to remove if you have to replace the batteries. But you don't have to worry about that right now, as the 2 AAA batteries come pre-installed. You'll also find the set button with a multicolor LED on the back to show the status of the sensor. Finally, you'll notice the 2 air holes used to bring air into the sensors on the back and the bottom. Now that we know what comes in each box, let's quickly go over the key features that these sensors share. Now, despite their differences, the standard sensor and the weatherproof sensor have a lot in common. They're both designed to monitor real-time temperature and humidity levels with the Shinshron SHTC3 sensor. This sensor provides a high accuracy, or plus or minus 0.3 degrees Celsius or 3% humidity. All of this is without the need for calibration. When used in combination with a YoLink hub, they can send alerts when temperature or humidity levels get out of a predefined range, which we'll take a more in-depth look at that here in a minute. Additionally, both sensors can be used with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. They can also be used with Home Assistant and IFTTT for even more automations. Finally, just like all other YoLink sensors, these 2 sensors use the YoLink LoRa technology, so you can get up to 1,000 feet of range between the sensors and your hub. Now, as we mentioned during the unboxing, both these are battery powered by 2 AAA batteries. The batteries will last about 2 years, so no external power is required, so you can place them almost anywhere in your house. Now, on the topic of batteries, let's address one of our most frequently asked questions. When I replace the batteries on my YoLink temperature sensors after they die, when replacing the batteries, the sensors never turn back on and communicate with the hub. What do I do? So please try the following steps. Step 1, remove the old batteries from the sensor. Now, on the outdoor unit, you will need to remove the feet with a flathead screwdriver, then remove the 4 Phillips head screws. Now, with the batteries taken out, press the set button several times. This should discharge any of the capacitors and completely remove power from the sensor. Then install brand new non-rechargeable batteries. Make sure you replace the screws and feet on the outdoor unit before putting it back in service. This should clear up any issues with the sensors. If this doesn't solve the problem, then remove the sensors from your hub and re-add them again. Now let's talk about how these sensors differ. The standard sensor has an LCD screen that allows you to quickly see the temperature and humidity of the room that you're currently in, where the weatherproof sensor doesn't have a screen. You can only see environmental data in the YoLink app. Now, the weatherproof sensor has a wider temperature range, making it suitable for various environments. I mean, the upper range of this is 221 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy. So the standard temperature sensor's range goes from negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit to positive 140 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas the weatherproof temperature sensor goes from negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit to a positive 221 degrees Fahrenheit. So as the name suggests, the weatherproof sensor is weatherproof, making it ideal for outdoor or wet use. It has an IP67 rating for dust and water resistance, whereas the standard sensor is only intended for indoor use. Now, setting up both sensors is a breeze in the YoLink app. So the first thing we need to do is pair the sensors to the hub. So to do that, we just need to open up our YoLink app, click on the scanner button in the top, and then take one of our devices and flip it over on the back to find the QR code. We'll then scan that QR code, and this will identify what type of sensor we're working with. From here, you can give it a name and assign it to a room of your choice. You can also set it as a favorite. Then we're going to press Bind Device, and the device is bound. We need to press the Set button on the back of the device for it to communicate with the hub. You should see the light flash red and then green. Now, if we look, we can see the temperature and humidity coming from the sensor. The process is exactly the same for the standard temperature sensor. On the standard sensor, you can use the Set button on the back to change the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit and back again. Now please note, this does update the temperature values in both the sensor and in the app itself. Now if we click on one of the two temperature sensors, we'll see the current temperature in the room and the humidity. We can also see a graph at the bottom showing the historical values of the sensor. If you click on that graph, it'll take you into a larger historical section where you can see the temperature data for a longer period of time, like weeks or months. You even have the option here at the bottom to export it to CSV so you can import it onto your computer. Now if we look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, we'll see a battery and signal indicator showing that our device is in good health. Then if we click on the three dots at the top right-hand corner, it'll take us into the device details. From here, we can rename the sensor. We can also change its room. Below that, we can set up alerts, which we'll cover here in the next section. Below that is the calibration, which is not necessary, but if you do notice that one of your devices is off, you can go in here and set the calibration sliders. You can also add it as a favorite. You can find another link to the same history tab as we saw on the front screen. Then below that, we can see the state, which will show if the device is online or normal. Then underneath that, we'll see all of the technical information for the device. One thing to note is at the bottom here, you'll see firmware. If there is a firmware update available, you'll see a small note here indicating a new version is available. Then finally below that is the delete button where you can delete the device from the hub. And the outdoor sensor is identical, all the same settings. Now, as I mentioned in the last section, you can easily set up alert ranges for temperature and humidity. The app will notify you when these levels go outside of that range. So if we go into the device details and then click on alerts, we can see all the different options we have. So the first option is where we can set the current alarm strategy. If you want a full breakdown of how each of these work, check out our hub tutorial. But we would suggest that you set this for always for critical temperature alerts. But you can also set it to effective when away for alerts that are only relevant when you're away from your home. Just under this is the alert range section. Here you can set the desired range of the sensor. If the sensor falls outside of this range, it will trigger the alert strategy. You can also click on the pencil section to set the temperature range precisely. Then at the bottom is the alarm duration. This is how often you get an alert when it falls outside of the range. So if this is turned on, you will continuously get an alert for that particular time setting. So if I turn this on and I set it to 45 minutes, every 45 minutes I will get a temperature alert if the temperature or humidity are outside of the alert range. Now both of these sensors can be used in different areas around your home. The weatherproof sensor with its wide temperature range could be used in environments like freezers, fridges, cabinets, crawl spaces, etc. Now, if you have a deep freezer in a room outside of your kitchen, then the outdoor sensor with probe is a good choice to ensure you don't end up with spoiled food. By placing the probe in the freezer and the main unit outside, you can ensure the temperature of your food without worrying about signal issues. The standard sensor with its screen is better for places that are more visible, like greenhouses or even pet cages. They're also great in places like bedrooms, bathrooms, and garages. The weatherproof sensor, being weatherproof, could be used outdoors to monitor conditions in your garden, patio, or backyard. You can also place it in locations where you want to closely monitor humidity, like storage cases or humidors. YoLink temperature and humidity sensors can be used with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. You can link your YoLink account to your Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant account to enable voice control. For more details, you can see our hub setup video. However, sensors cannot be used to start an Alexa routine. Users can only ask for the sensor's value through the voice control on both Google and Alexa. One example of an Alexa command for YoLink sensors is to edit the name of the sensor in the Alexa app and then ask Alexa about the temperature. For instance, if you rename a sensor to pool in the Alexa app, you can then ask Alexa, "What's the pool temperature?" to receive the temperature reading from that sensor. The same applies to the Google Assistant. Now we get a large number of frequently asked questions to our support team over at service@yosmart.com. So let's cover some of our most popular ones right now. How do I troubleshoot connection issues with my temperature sensor? If you experience connection issues with your temperature sensor, try the following steps. 1. Ensure your YoLink hub is connected to the internet and powered on. Press the set button on the device. 2. Check the distance between the temperature sensor and the YoLink hub. Move them closer together if necessary. 3. Replace the batteries in the temperature sensor if they are low. 4. Restart the YoLink hub by unplugging it, waiting for 30 seconds, and plugging it back in again. 5. If you continue to have problems, feel free to reach out to the YoLink customer support team. How do I factory reset the temperature sensor? Doing a factory reset will erase all of your settings and restore your sensor to factory defaults. After the factory reset, your device will still remain in your YoLink account. Please hold the set button for 20 to 23 seconds until the status light blinks red and green alternatively. Then release the button. Note, holding the set button longer than 23 seconds will abort the factory reset option because the sensor thinks the button is stuck down. Factory reset will be complete when the light stops blinking. How do I download my history data for my temperature sensor? Please go to the temperature sensor page, click on the More, set the time period to weekly, daily, or years, and click the Export to download the data from the YoLink app. After that, you can send the file via email or download the file to your phone. To refresh the data for your YoLink temperature and humidity sensor, you can either manually refresh it by pressing the Set button on the back, or wait for it to refresh automatically. The sensor data will be refreshed automatically in the following situations. 1. The Set button has been pressed. 2. At least 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees. 2. At least 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.5 degrees Celsius has changed. 2. The temperature has changed at least 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.5 degrees Celsius over a period longer than 1 minute. 3. There's been a change in temperature of greater than 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 degrees Celsius within 1 minute. And there's been at least a 5% change of humidity over a period longer than 1 minute. The device alert level has been reached or it's restored itself to a normal range. Finally, if none of these have been true, the data will refresh automatically after an hour. Whether you choose the standard sensor with screen or the weatherproof sensor, you're getting a quality sensor from YoLink that can help you monitor your home's temperature and humidity. Now, we hope this video has helped you understand the similarities and differences between these two sensors. If you're interested in either sensor, there are links to both the YoLink store and Amazon in the description below. If you do have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment on the video or reach out to our support team at support@yosmart.com. Or check out our other support resources at support.yosmart.com. Thanks for watching.